PERQ K2D3 plus. And you know that at PERQUE, we not only bring a unique formula, but we almost always add something of synergistic value. So you may have heard how important vitamin K2 is. You may have heard how important vitamin D3 is. You may not yet have heard, but we'll soon be hearing about 2-beta-coxetine, something that osteoblasts, that is bone building cells called osteoblasts, like. So there's a synergy, there's an activation when you have the right balance of K2, D3, and 2-beta-coxetine. And we at PERQUE, who guard your health, are thrilled and delighted to make this formula available. And now I'd like to tell you a little bit about why this is so important, and particularly important today in the high-tech, high-stress world we live in. At least 50 million Americans have low bone density. Osteopenia, osteoporosis are the technical names. 1 in 2 women, 1 in 4 men at age 50 or beyond will have a fall that results in a broken bone because the bones have gotten too thin or too brittle. That means 3 million fractures a year by 2025, which is just around the corner, and billions of dollars in annual costs and uncountable suffering. Indeed, after an elder breaks a bone, they often become more sedentary, and that accelerates their decline. Now, the name says it all. Vitamin K2, also known as MK7, the soy-free version of vitamin K, 90 micrograms. Vitamin D3, cholecalciferol, the natural precursor form that the body makes into active vitamin D easily, 62.5 micrograms, 2,500 IU, and 45 milligrams of the 2-beta-coxetine, this osteoblast enhancing, this invigorating the osteoblast bone building cells, put together in a unique and balanced formula. Now, how does this operate? First of all, minerals in the intestines like calcium and magnesium come in through an ion channel. Vitamin D3, cholecalciferol, enhances the uptake of minerals like calcium and magnesium through the calcium-magnesium ATPase ion channel. Now, the body makes a precursor protein called osteocalcin. And when vitamin K2 acts as an enhancer, as an activator, as a catalyst, now the osteocalcin becomes active, and that helps the osteoblasts bring calcium and magnesium to the bone to build new bone. Now, what about vitamin K2, also known as MK7? This stimulates reabsorption of calcium from the kidneys back into the bloodstream. It builds bone by pulling calcium out of the bloodstream and holding it for the osteoblast to put new bone and mineral into the bone binding amino acids. It activates the calcium binding osteocalcin, and it protects blood vessels from calcification, hardening, atherosclerosis, and all of those cardiovascular ills are reduced when you have the soy-free version of vitamin K2, the dione, menadione form, and the vitamin D3, which is really a neurohormone, and so you often need it in different amounts. But this is a platform, this is a fundamental need in the 21st century to keep our bodies and bones healthy and strong. Now, the vitamin K2, menaquinone, is a technical name for it. MK4 is a little different than MK7. They're both diones. They're both helpful in autoimmune conditions like rheumatoid arthritis. And we actually benefit from having both. And so in the PERQ lifeguard, you have a family, a whole suite of supportive nutrients. And many people today include as part of their daily regimen K2D3 plus the 2-beta-coxetine, the PERQ K2D3 plus guard, as a platform. And then we'll see that it really is helpful for many people to take additional drops of vitamin D under their tongue. We'll get to that. Now, the vitamin D3, the cholecalciferol, enhances uptake of minerals like calcium from the intestines. It helps mobilize the calcium from your bones into the bloodstream when consumption is low. And very often today, people get too much sodium, but too little potassium. They get some calcium, but too little divalent cations, too little calcium and much too little magnesium. And that robs the bones, because there's an interface where the body can bring minerals to and take minerals from the surface of the bone. And then there is a unique dicarboxyglutamic acid, or gamma carboxyglutamic acid. This is a calcium binding amino acid. It's a special post-transcriptional modified amino acid. It's derived from glutamate, but it's necessary to build new bone. So you want to have dicarboxy gamma glutamic acid coming from your liver to feed, to nourish, to nurture the osteoblasts so that the minerals can get bound into the matrix of the bone, the new bone. Now, what about osteoimmunology? It turns out bone, we tend to think of it as solid, but it's actually very alive. It's got canals, it's got canaliculi, it's got cells wiggling through it all the time. So cytokines, chemokines, growth factors regulate the activity of these bone-building osteoblasts and the recycling osteoclasts. You need the osteoclast to break down the old bone, and you need the osteoblast to build up the new bone. So bone loss in autoimmune conditions, bone loss in conditions where the body attacks itself, bone loss in conditions where tolerance has been lost in the immune system and there's a repair deficit, that affects the bone as well as the rest of the body. So from rheumatoid arthritis and lupus to periodontal disease and irritable bowel syndromes, from multiple sclerosis to asthma, from eczema to psoriasis, glomerulonephritis, and on, there are so many self-attacking autoimmune conditions. And we need to restore tolerance in the immune defense and repair system so that the rebuilding, the building of new bone, goes on robustly and regularly, as you see in this visual image. Now, I mentioned 2-beta-coxetine. I'll say it several times because it may not be a word that's part of your vocabulary in the past, but we want you to get familiar with. 2-beta-coxetine, it's a natural, organic, osteoinductive, bone-derived, organic, special, happy bones protein. It promotes new bone and cartilage growth. It enhances the function of osteoblasts. In that sense, it is repair enhancing, so it's anti-inflammatory, but helpfully, not harmfully anti-inflammatory. And if you're interested in a additional component, Boswellia serrata, has AKBA, that's a technical flavonoid component. It enhances immune signaling. It inhibits mediators of inflammation, so it decreases joint pain. It decreases TNF, tumor necrosis factor alpha. It decreases IL-1B, that's interleukin-1B. And I remember when Tom Waldman first identified interleukins, and I asked him how many he thought there would be, and he said, oh, there'll be a few, and they'll kind of compete with each other, they'll modulate each other. It turns out there are hundreds of them, And I've been in science long enough to remember the fellow who first identified converting fats into cytokines or interleukins. So most people require 1 to 200 micrograms a day of vitamin K2. You can get that easily combining PERQUE LifeGuard capsules with the PERQUE K2 D3 Plus Guard. And in chronic kidney disease, people may need more, maybe 500 micrograms a day of the vitamin K2. Now, you get your platform from the K2 D3 formula, and we suggest a suite of synergistic products, including PERQUE D3 Cell Guard to maintain a healthy vitamin D level in the blood of 50 to 80 nanograms per mil. PERQUE Bone Guard 40 for comprehensive bone nutrition. Turns out there's over 12.5 essential components, all of which need to be in the right place at the right time for building bone. PERQUE Joint Guard, because if you want your bones to be healthy, you also want to be rebuilding your joints. And PERQUE Pain Guard or PERQUE Repair Guard, the safer polyphenolics that are directly repair enhancing. So, at a minimum, the D3 K2 Plus Guard. But for more complete coverage, you'd want to combine that with PERQUE D3 Cell Guard, PERQUE Bone Guard Forte, PERQUE Joint Guard, and PERQUE Pain Guard or PERQUE Repair Guard. Now, I presume that everyone would be taking PERQUE LifeGuard capsules. I presume that everyone would be taking PERQUE Potency Guard, of course. Now, to support you, we have educational materials and we have samples of the K2 D3 Plus Guard for you to experience, for you and your staff to understand. And you'll see how dynamic the bone really is and how important it is to keep it in a constant state of repair and renewal. So we are here to help. Please contact your account specialist or contact PERQUE Client Services at 800-525-7372. That's a toll-free number, 800-525-7372. Or you can always email us at clientservices@perque.com. That's clientservices@perque.com. So please contact your specialist who is here to serve, or contact us so that we can link you up with the appropriate information, inspiration, and educational materials specialist so that you, your practice, and your clients can benefit today and tomorrow. And just one thought in closing. No part of your body is more than 10 years old, and that's your bones. Your joints and large blood vessels renew about every 7 years. And much of you is new in the last few months. So if you get enough of the essential nutrients coming in on a daily basis, supplementing a good diet, supplementing the foods you can digest, assimilate, and eliminate without immune burden, then for life, you can have better bodies and better bones, as my colleague Susan Brown summarizes it. And we are here to serve by bringing out safer and more effective products with evidence and with confidence that following nature, nurture, and wholeness, the PERQUE philosophy will lead you, your practice, and your clients to health for life.